If you've been watching the channel for a while now, you'll know that Kirsten and I are months deep in the process of converting this Ford Transit into our brand new tiny home on wheels. And for the past few months, we've been spending the majority of our time planning, building, filming, and editing our van conversion to share on YouTube. So this weekend, we decided to take a few days off to focus our attention on another project that we've been meaning to do for quite a while now. We're Rich and Kirsten, and in 2020, we sold everything we owned, quit our jobs, and left to travel the world. Until COVID happened.
I knew I was gonna be packing tonight, but I didn't think I'd be packing for a flight tonight.
An international flight.
An international flight.
To a different city.
I'm not prepared for this. I don't know, man. I'm shook.
So we packed our bags, flew home, and bought a minivan to start a new type of adventure. After buying some plywood and building out a basic minivan camper for two, we took our 2011 Volkswagen Routan across 5 Canadian provinces, to 4 Great Lakes, to the foothills of the Arctic, and to some of Canada's more remote locations. And through all of the abuse that we threw at it, it came through for us. But now, it's time for us to find this van a new home.
Loads of amazing memories from living in the minivan. And honestly, we learned a major lesson, and that is not to knock something until you try it, because we had no idea that we would love van life so much that we would make the investment into renovating a cargo van. When we converted this minivan, we did take out the rear seats. And it was quite the struggle. Unfortunately, the bolts, because they're 10 years old, had begun to corrode and rust, so getting them out was extremely difficult. So in order to put them back in, we decided to try a good old DIY method to getting rust off so that they could go back in the van.
When we bought this van last summer, the first course of action was taking these rear seats out because they had no value to us. We do not need to sit 7 people in this van. We needed the extra storage space for our 2 months away. Now that we're trying to sell this vehicle as a commuter vehicle and not as a camper van, the first course of action is putting the seats back in. And in order for this van to pass its safety tomorrow, we don't have a choice. These seats gotta be bolted back in. Gotta get my leg out of here. It's been like 8 months since I did this. I kind of forgot exactly how it's done.
And how hard it was the first time?
Oh, it was a nightmare the first time. I wish we could stop there, but we got the harder one to do now. Oh, car ownership. What a pleasure, eh?
What follows is a brief construction montage.
It's hard, man. I wish we could have recorded the struggle we had trying to get this thing in. It was a 2-person job.
The most important step of selling our vehicle is getting it safetied. We've brought our vehicle to All Brand Auto Service and Sales today because they are the best mechanic shop in Toronto, in our humble opinion. Back when we originally got this vehicle, we brought it to a mechanic in our hometown. They left a brake line open and it ended up being almost a very big issue. Brought our vehicle here and they fixed the issue at no charge to us. So after that, we've always brought our vehicle here to get service because we trust them. Not to mention, we got about 5 centimeters of snow last night, which is making this whole driving thing with this minivan a little bit more interesting. She passed. A couple new tires, but that's okay.
I'm pretty satisfied that that's all we had to put into her. We didn't think that there was any major issues, and I'm really glad that we got the validation that there's nothing wrong with her, and now we can move on to selling her.
With the safety now in our rear view mirror, we moved on to making our van look beautiful for its listing. Getting this vehicle clean solved one major problem for us, and now we can actually go ahead, take photos, and list this vehicle online. And considering one of our lines of business has to do with online digital advertising and marketing, if we can't sell this thing online, we have a bigger problem than just having a vehicle that we didn't sell online. We should probably start looking for new careers. We do have another set of problems related to the cleanliness of the inside of the vehicle, which is certainly not in selling condition right now.
It's not that we're messy people and that we've left all kinds of crap in here. We've actually been pretty good about getting all of our camping stuff out of this van. The problem is we made a couple modifications to this vehicle, thinking that we were gonna drive it into the ground rather than sell it.
Here's 4 reasons why we think you should live in a minivan.
There are 4 main places that we put Gorilla Glue on. The worst of them is this part right here in the middle of the vehicle where we hung our curtain that blocked off the front from the back while we were sleeping. The rest of it is all on plastic, so it should be a little easier to remove. We need to get this glue up to 100 degrees Celsius in order for it to melt. The other way we can do this is also by using acetone or rubbing alcohol. We're gonna try this method first, and hopefully we don't burn out my hairdryer because I actually kind of like this one.
I wonder how long this will take.
So it's already starting to soften it a little bit. It kind of comes off like, you know when you get a credit card? It comes off in like tacky bits like that. Let's try some more. Well, the lesson we've learned is that the hairdryer does a really good job at getting off the gloopy, chunky bits, but as for the overall look of it, it's not gonna change. I'm not really inclined to keep trying other options when we can just explain what we did to the new buyer.
When we originally bought this van, we spent 6,000 Canadian dollars, well, on this beauty here. It came fully safetied, it got a rear brake job and a new windshield because there was a crack in it before we bought it. I've been pretty satisfied with it. After we put another $2,000 into it, we were able to take it out west and back without any problems. And then upon return, we had to fix the front calipers. But before we left, we did put new struts on the front end of the vehicle, and we also had to fix a ball joint. Whoever buys this vehicle from us is gonna get a pretty sweet deal. There is a realistic chance this vehicle could go for another 2 or 3 years without any serious maintenance issues, as long as the engine and transmission hold up.
We knew that there was a good chance, having bought a used vehicle, that we would definitely be putting some work into it. So the amount of money we put into it wasn't a surprise to us. It's been worth every single penny because not only has this vehicle served as our home, it served as our transportation, it served as a hotel, it was a safe haven from the pandemic, which was raging while we were traveling still.
And it got us to places that the tour buses don't go to, which was honestly the best part of the entire situation. We got to go wherever we wanted. It didn't really cost us anything to go where we wanted other than putting gas in the vehicle, and we slept for free for countless nights. And I'm so excited because in our new adventure, we're not really going to be new to van life. We're not going to be trying to learn how to find a place to sleep. We're not going to be learning where to go to the bathroom. We're already going to know a lot of this stuff so we can hit the ground running.
It really helped us to learn just the basics of van life. It was a low-cost investment to us. And for many of you who are considering it, it's definitely the gateway to potentially van life without making a huge commitment. Had we chosen to do this by flying out west, renting a car, and then staying in hotels or campsites and bringing our camping gear, this could have easily cost us anywhere between $10,000 and $15,000.
We've listed this vehicle for $6,000, so even if we can get a fraction of that back, it'll be all worth it. We'll actually get some money back from this, and our adventure out west won't have actually cost us cost that much last summer. We have gotten a few lowball offers from dealers so far, the highest of which is $4,500. So we're pretty confident that somebody is going to be willing to pay at least $4,500 Canadian for this. But at the end of the day, we are on a bit of a time limit now. We're really looking forward to getting into our van and driving out west, but we're certainly holding out hope that we can find a private buyer who sees the value in our work and is willing to pay for it. We hope you enjoyed the video. Next week, we're going to be back on the transit build grind, and there's going to be quite a few videos of that coming out. I stepped inside the vehicle today for the first time in like 4 or 5 days, and even I was shocked to see kitchen cabinets in there. This van is going to be done pretty soon. I think our goal is to have it done in the next 4 to 6 weeks, or at least done to the point where it's just finishing touches. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks to our patrons as always. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.